Alright, so, let's see. So, hello, I'm Ben, and I'm taking this video for a project I did a while ago, a wheelchair lab. And we had to make a video, this is it. And I'm going to cover some of the stuff that went on, but basically the idea is to kind of get an understanding of like what it is to be a designer who has to consider all these things, basically make environments that work for everyone type of thing. One idea was to have us do what's called a wheelchair lab, where we spend at least 8 consecutive hours in a wheelchair and have to experience the day in a wheelchair. So I did that a while ago, and I'm gonna show off some of the video clips of I'm gonna try to keep this under 20 minutes. So I'm gonna show about 8 minutes of a video I took. Let me show you. Here, first, let me make a new scene. Add a scene. Okay. Add auto capture. Okay. 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 Yes. Add. Do capture. Okay. Okay. Edit. Can I edit this? Okay. There we go. So I'm gonna stick you over here. There we go. And so maybe I should look down. I don't know. Playing around with this as I go. Properties. It's alpha 80. So with that, we can see some of my videos I took. Some of them were with it's underneath my box of cereal. Some of them were with this camera, a little hand recorder. Most of them were on this camera. I recorded about, let's see, 12 minutes, 5 minutes, a few seconds, 6 minutes, 1 minute 42, 28 minutes, 5 minutes, 36 minutes. So I spent a good amount of time kind of sitting here talking about my thoughts, but I'm going to try and condense all that. So I'm just going to watch about like the first 8 minutes of this video, and then I'm going to, in the video, start to go off topic or just talking. But I'll stop it there, and then I'll kind of recap some of my thoughts going on through the experiment, like highlighting everything that I talked about in all the videos. So with that, let me get my face out of here. Boink. Alright. Let's see. So yeah, I just got the computer up and running. Put my hat down, my temporary, or practically permanent, pop filter, so I can, talk close and nice and personal with the microphone. So this stuck on, okay. But yeah, jeez. So, just about a few seconds ago, turn off the camera. Got hair everywhere. So, yeah, it was my morning in a wheelchair. I'll explain my morning as I go about doing school stuff. So I only had like a 15-minute breakfast, 10 minutes and 15 minutes to get out of there. Or not, 10 minutes plus another 5 minutes to get out of there. So that gave me like plenty of time to actually get over there to my class, as well as I checked my schedule again because I usually keep it with me. I was thinking 9:45, but it was 9:50 when it started, so I was pretty confident in the amount of time I had to get there. So I was going to see how long it took me to get there. Slow. And as I was eating food, I'm pretty certain I'm getting a few blisters, or going to get some blisters from this little, what would this be called?
I just don't look as a woman as 30 anymore. I wish I did.
Okay, store all my stuff. But other than it was slow, and I made a note to myself, considering the way the maneuvering is, wheelchairs primarily are focused on in-home usage, I'm pretty sure, considering it is very slow to move around, but you get decent control because of how close to the rim of the tires you grab it at. So for that reason, I think it's designed more for control, because you want control and not so much speed. I mean, this is pretty a standard model. Like I think I can, let me look at OBS. Can I move this? Let me loosen this. I don't do much with this camera. Where's it at? Yeah, so wheelchair, pretty standard. Actually, that side's got a damaged flab that I thought something was coming out of my pocket and hitting the wheels or something. No, it's the plastic siding is broken and whatnot. And if it was my personal wheelchair, totally be motorized, pimped out with LEDs, and I would totally take a drummer through these rooms because they are pretty smooth. That I was literally just in place. I would just nudge myself a little bit and they would just slip. So annoying. I'd definitely take a Dremel to that and give it some grip. But it's not mine. Plus, it's not permanent for me. And even if it wasn't mine, I would think about maybe doing technically damage to it, and thinking that once it's damaged, then I would have to pay for it or buy it, basically. As I don't know. I'm a bad person thinking that. I don't know. But so you're getting there. Very gradual slope. Takes a lot to get up the slope, or it's going up a road that's pretty much on a mound. It's not like a hill, like you can barely see it, and you probably wouldn't even notice it walking it. But yeah, but there is somewhat of an incline trying to get up, going down one road to my farthest classroom for me, and so it was more than halfway there. One dude asked if he could help me, but he was on his bike, and I said no, and I explained that this was a lab trying to get into it. Did I have yeah, I turned that on. Well, I didn't turn it on, I just left it on because I'm lazy. But other than that, then another lady was able to catch up because I am so slow. Like imagine your footsteps being like a doot, doot, doot. Like that's pretty much the amount of hand movement I can get out of that wheelchair. Just so I definitely need to mastering my techniques. I never had to go too far or anywhere outside in a wheelchair really, other than for today. Okay, printing. What else do I need to do? Laptop. Man, whoever had this desk last was really messy. My roommate's older roommate. Okay, laptop. But so yeah, more than halfway there, another lady, nice lady, comes along, and since she's going the same way and phrased it in a way where I couldn't really say no, they pushed me, and I'm pretty polite because I mean, I would want to be pushed. It is so much work. And so they pushed me to at least where I say a good part of the building is, then I go down like a little part of the cement that I can see is angled. And so it gets angled. I don't even know if I'm in the camera. It's angled. I go into the building. I know that there's an elevator somewhere there. I use that. It's got like a door on one end, the back end, and then a door on the front end. Go on the back end, and I got to figure out which way to do it. I don't know. It's the architecture building, but I've seen stranger layouts of buildings. But yeah, I went up there, moved the desk around, and I took like a 12-second clip just to show where I was in my room, or in the room. Did that just to prove that I went to class. Went to class. So that I felt pretty casual. I felt pretty good because I was getting hold of the subject. I was pretty comfortable with my little pillow behind my back. Game-changing move right there, man. But definitely want to be in a do that for too long. So then class gets over, go back out. Not even halfway there. And I'll stop it there. But you see, it kind of took me a bit to I can't even see myself. Monitor video. It took me a bit to kind of get through some of the stuff I was talking about. And I don't have my light on. There you go. So explaining everything that kind of happened in all my notes would take a while, as you would have guessed. So for that reason, doing this other video, trying to recap on everything. Also, that 12-second clip I was talking about is this one. Just sitting in the wheelchair. Yep, that's just it. So I, took other videos and all that. I'm pretty sure this is the whole collection of videos. But, anyways, moving on. So you kind of see I was kind of busy, unfocused, and also wasn't exactly making too clear of a sense, not forming proper sentences. Still not. I'm not following a script right now. But I'm just going to kind of walk through my day, such as I took this first video as I walked and got the wheelchair and picked it up, explaining it. And like I said, I brought a pillow, or the game-changing move. That would be this pillow. I sit down a lot. I work a lot on the computer. Need some lower back support. So I had a pillow. Decided to put it with the chair with me. Made it very comfortable. But so I think I got a lot of help going around, and I think only the trip really early in the morning, getting back to my room to get some work done, was the only time I actually went fully on my own to someplace. Oh, and yeah, that was the only time. And going down, I had to go down a big, decent hill. Had to use my sleeve as a brake because I was definitely getting blisters on my hand. I tried to have breakfast after I picked up the chair. Definitely felt like getting blisters, and I did eventually a few days ago, and it's like almost a month since the lab, I think. No, well, not a month yet, but a few weeks ago that I took all the videos. But yeah, but I tried eating, and it was difficult to have the plate in my lap. I didn't, because the foothold thing was a bit too small for me, so my food would kind of fall into my lap. That was hard. I just kind of went up to a table. Now one thing I would mention a few times is this other guy who does need a wheelchair, and I see him now and then. He like I've seen him get himself into chairs, and one time I was washing my hand, he comes in and he uses the urinal and props himself up on that. Well, I'm having breakfast. I go to this table. I needed someone to help me as I had a glass of milk because I couldn't get myself to go anywhere with one hand. I've never seen I've seen the other guy who actually needs a wheelchair do it, where he kind of pushes himself around based on everything around him. But I don't have the practice or the skill for that, so I definitely was in trouble. So it's difficult to go around with holding something in your hand that you can't really hold with your lap or anything. But I have to come back to my room. I'm on the second floor. We have an elevator, but it's a service elevator, like for freight or whatever. So I would have to lift up this big door that where it splits apart, and then I have to lift up another door, and then I have to close them both, and then push the button and go up a floor. And in order to reach the doors, there's a rope, nylon, flat cable rope, and couldn't really reach it on the second floor. I would actually have to more or less push myself, jump out of the chair to get to it. So not too practical. And then let's see, then I mentioned I didn't really mention someone knocking at the door. Hello.
Hi, is Yosef here?
No, he's not.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where he's at.
See you.
See ya. Okay, just friends of roommate looking for you say. And so, but yeah, I took this video. I didn't make it too clear, but I did try to go to one of my classes, this one over here, and very difficult to get going anywhere. Someone had to help me. People helped me on the way back, and nice people. And they would talk about like how sometimes when they ask, people get offended, and I kind of explain maybe it's like this sense of pride, or you don't want to bog other people down or be a burden on anyone, or self-dependence, different types of things. But it was very challenging to, like, the last part of the day, I left an hour and a half before I actually needed to turn in my wheelchair, and it took me 2.5 hours, or maybe 3 whole hours, to actually get to from my hall to Robert's hall to turn in my chair, because I could not move. Like the chair had no traction, it had no grit. And if I look to other models, such as the wheelchair that the guy who needs it use, his has like traction, like wheels that a bicycle would have. It has it's definitely one made for comfort and to be usable, while the ones me and everyone else had to use was definitely a standard cheap model. And his also had an angle on that. I'm not too sure what's up with the angle, other than maybe it's better for the arms, considering the arms kind of do angled out. I think that might have helped with that. But that I could not go anywhere because traction, any amount of dust on the ground rendered me enabled or disabled me from moving at all. And I eventually had to make that one almost all the way up until the last part. Someone else who did the lab 2 days before me helped me. And I was late, like, we had to get it turned in from 4:30 to, or some time to, like, I don't know, I almost came in at like 6. So I was so late. But yeah, definitely very slow. And I didn't really have too much with an issue with the buildings themselves, because, you know, buildings are flat, and buildings are kind of pre-made with code to be supportive of people with disabilities, such as most doors have handles on them in case people don't have digits. That way they can still get out when there's a fire. But like one complaint someone's told in class was that when they were talking to someone else, one person complained to them that their mother actually complained to them that they need to make the campus more flatter, stuff like that. And I could somewhat understand that, but meh. I definitely feel like it might be hard to do that, expensive. Definitely would need to work on maybe better wheelchairs, or different other types of things, like you got those motorized wheelchairs. But I also tried to go into the bathroom, kind of like how the guy did. This did not have like dividers between the urinals, so I had to go down to the basement to do that, to figure that out. I tried it. It was a lot of hard work. Had some success, some failures, but all in all, it was interesting. Nothing too new, but worth the experience. So, coming up to the limit here. I think I'll stop. That's just about everything I need to cover. Type up the rest.